At 2:14 a.m., Emma Carter was wide awake. Not because she wanted to be, but because grief never slept. The rain outside her Brooklyn apartment tapped softly against the window, steady and patient, like it had nowhere else to be. Streetlights bled amber into the darkness, casting long shadows across the living room where Emma sat curled on the couch, her knees pulled to her chest, her phone lying face down beside her like a loaded weapon. 3 years. 3 years since Daniel Moore died. 3 years since the world told her to move on. She hadn't. Emma picked up the phone and turned it over. No notifications, no missed calls, nothing. She stared at the lock screen longer than necessary, then sighed and placed it back down. She hated nights like this, nights when memories surfaced without warning. Daniel's laugh, the way he tilted his head when he was thinking, the promise he made the night he died. "I'll be there in 10 minutes. Don't fall asleep." She never did. The vibration came suddenly. One sharp buzz. Emma froze. Her heart slammed against her ribs as she grabbed the phone, her thumb trembling as she unlocked it. Unknown contact. Message received. She read it once. Then again. Then a third time. "If you're reading this, I didn't survive the crash." Emma's breath left her lungs. Her vision blurred. Her fingers went numb. That sentence, those exact words, were burned into her memory. Because Daniel had said them once before. As a joke. She whispered, No, this isn't funny." The number. She looked at the sender's number. Her stomach dropped. It was Daniel. The same number she had memorized. The same number she had called hundreds of times. The same number that had been disconnected for 3 years. Her hands shook violently as she typed. "Emma, who is this?" The message showed delivered. Her chest tightened. Seconds passed. Then, "Daniel, you promised you. Wait." Emma screamed. The phone slipped from her hands and hit the floor, the sound echoing through the apartment. She backed away as if the device might crawl toward her, her back hitting the wall. "No," she said aloud, her voice cracking. "You're dead. I saw you. I buried you." Her phone vibrated again. Against the floor. Like a heartbeat. She forced herself forward, tears streaming down her face as she picked it up. "Daniel, I didn't mean to leave you that night." Her legs gave out. She sank to the floor, clutching the phone to her chest like it was the only thing keeping her alive. Memories crashed into her all at once. Daniel had been late that night. They were supposed to meet at the diner on 7th Avenue, their place. Emma remembered checking her watch, annoyed but smiling, knowing she'd forgive him the second he walked in. Then the call came. Sirens in the background. A stranger's voice. A crash on the interstate. Dead on arrival. Emma's world ended in a hospital hallway that smelled like antiseptic and hopelessness. Her phone buzzed again. "Daniel, you shouldn't be alone right now." Emma stood up slowly, every muscle tense. "How do you know where I am?" she whispered. Another vibration. "Daniel, because I never left." The lights flickered. Just once. Emma's breath caught. She turned slowly, scanning the apartment. The door was locked. The windows were closed. No one was there. Her phone buzzed again. "Daniel, check the hallway mirror." Her blood ran cold. She didn't want to. Every instinct screamed at her not to. But grief had already taught her how to obey fear. Step by step, she walked toward the hallway. The mirror hung exactly where it always had, old, slightly cracked in the corner. She raised the phone and looked up. Her reflection stared back. Alone. Except something moved behind her. Emma spun around. Nothing. Her phone buzzed. "Daniel, I'm running out of time." Her heart pounded. Time for what? 3 dots appeared. Typing. Stopped. Typing again. Then, "Daniel, before you remember what really happened." The mirror behind her cracked loudly. Emma screamed. Emma didn't sleep that night. She sat on the edge of her bed as dawn slowly bled into the sky, her phone clutched in both hands, the screen dark and silent, as if nothing had happened. No new messages, no missed calls, just the same cracked lock screen she'd stared at 1,000 times before. The mirror in the hallway was shattered. Not badly, just one deep fracture running through the glass like a lightning bolt frozen in time. She hadn't imagined it. Emma pressed her fingers to her temples. Her head throbbed, not like a headache, but like pressure, like something inside her was trying to surface. Before you remember what really happened. Daniel's last message echoed in her mind. What does that even mean? She whispered. At 6:42 a.m., she finally stood, pulled on a jacket, and left the apartment. The diner on 7th Avenue still existed. That surprised her. It looked smaller than she remembered, less romantic in daylight. The red vinyl booths were faded, the neon sign buzzing weakly like it was tired of pretending. Emma hesitated outside, rainwater pooling around her boots. She hadn't been here since the night Daniel died. Or the night she believed he died. The bell above the door rang as she stepped inside. The smell of burnt coffee hit her immediately. Morning, the waitress said without looking up. Emma froze. The voice. She slowly lifted her eyes. The woman behind the counter was older now, gray threaded through her hair, but Emma recognized her instantly. You, Emma swallowed. You were here that night. The waitress looked up. Recognition flickered across her face. Then concern. Jesus, the woman said softly. You're the girl. Emma's stomach dropped. The girl. The one who kept calling his phone, the waitress said, even after the police told you to stop. Emma's heart began to race. I didn't. You sat right there, the waitress continued, pointing to the corner booth. Crying, saying it wasn't supposed to happen like this. Emma backed away slightly. That's not how it happened. The waitress frowned. Isn't it? Emma felt dizzy. No, she said firmly. He left. He got in his car. There was an accident. The waitress leaned closer. Honey, he never left the diner. The world tilted. What? That night, the waitress said slowly, carefully. You two argued. Badly, he walked out back. You followed him a few minutes later, screaming his name. Emma's ears rang. No, she whispered. No, that's wrong. The waitress's eyes softened. I heard the crash. Emma staggered back, her legs weak. What crash? The sound, the waitress said quietly, like something heavy hitting concrete, out back near the alley. Emma's phone vibrated in her pocket. She didn't want to look. She looked anyway. Daniel, she's telling the truth. Emma dropped the phone. The waitress stared. You okay? Emma grabbed her phone, backing toward the door. I have to go. She fled into the rain. Back in her apartment, Emma locked the door and slid to the floor. Her mind was unraveling. Fragments surfaced, images without order. Daniel's face angry, her voice raised, her hands shaking. The alley behind the diner, dark and narrow. And blood. No, Emma whispered, rocking slightly. I would remember that. Her phone buzzed. Daniel, you tried not to. Tears streamed down her face. Why are you doing this to me? Several seconds passed. Then, Daniel, because you asked me to. Her breathing hitched. What do you mean? The typing dots appeared. Paused. Appeared again. Daniel, you said you couldn't live with it. Emma's chest tightened painfully. Live with what? The lights flickered again. The apartment felt colder. Her phone buzzed. Daniel, with pushing me. Her hands went numb. That's impossible, she whispered. I loved you. Daniel, you were scared. Her vision blurred as something cracked inside her. I would never hurt you. Silence. Then, Daniel, you didn't mean to. The room felt suddenly smaller. the walls closing in. Emma stood and stumbled toward the hallway mirror. The crack had spread overnight. She stared at her reflection. Her own eyes looked unfamiliar, hollow, haunted. Her phone vibrated one last time. "Daniel, you need to remember the alley." The mirror shattered completely. Emma screamed as glass exploded outward. Behind her reflection, someone was standing, breathing, close. She turned, and everything went black. Emma woke up choking. Her lungs burned as she gasped for air, her body jerking upright on the cold hardwood floor. Her head throbbed violently, like she'd been struck from the inside. For a moment, she didn't know where she was. Then she saw the glass. Shards of the shattered mirror were scattered across the hallway floor, catching the morning light like broken memories. Her phone lay a few feet away, its screen cracked, but still on. Still waiting. Emma pushed herself up slowly, her knees shaking. The apartment was silent. Too silent, no footsteps, no breathing, nothing behind her. She checked the time. 8:11 a.m. She had blacked out for over an hour. "That wasn't a dream," she whispered. Her phone vibrated in her hand. She flinched. "Daniel, you're awake." Her stomach twisted. "You were here." Several seconds passed. "Daniel, I never left the alley." Emma's heart pounded. "The alley behind the diner?" she asked. 3 dots appeared. Stopped. Appeared again. "Daniel, you don't remember how it smells." A wave of nausea hit her. Concrete, garbage, oil, rain mixed with rust. Her head screamed as the memory forced its way forward. Daniel standing near the dumpster, his back turned, her voice raised, sharp, panicked. "Just stop, Daniel." Her hands clenched. "I didn't push you," she said aloud, trying to convince herself. Her phone buzzed. "Daniel, you grabbed me." Emma screamed, "No." Her phone slipped from her sweaty palm and hit the floor again. The memory sharpened. Daniel turning around, shock in his eyes, the argument escalating too fast, too loud, too close to the edge of the loading ramp. A car horn. Headlights. And then, her phone vibrated again. She picked it up slowly, her hands trembling. "Daniel, you thought I was walking away from you." Tears streamed down her face. "I was scared." "Daniel, so was I." Emma sank to the floor. "I didn't mean to," she whispered. Her phone buzzed. "Daniel, intent doesn't change gravity." Her stomach dropped. "You fell," she said desperately. "It was an accident." Long pause. Then, "Daniel, that's what you told the police." Emma froze. "What?" "Daniel, you stayed long enough to make sure no one saw." Her blood ran cold. "That's not true." "Daniel, you left before the sirens." Her chest tightened painfully. "I would remember that." Her phone buzzed again. "Daniel, you made yourself forget." The apartment lights flickered violently. Emma screamed as another memory slammed into her. A doctor's voice. Trauma-induced dissociation. Medication. Paperwork. A signature at the bottom. Her signature. "You helped me forget," she whispered. "Daniel, you begged me to." Her heart shattered. "You're not real," she said, shaking. "You're guilt." Her phone vibrated instantly. "Daniel, then how do I know about the camera?" Emma's breath stopped. "What camera?" "Daniel, the security camera across the alley." Her blood ran ice cold. She remembered now. A small red light. Blinking. Watching. Her phone buzzed again. "Daniel, they never checked it." Emma stood abruptly. "Where is it?" Her phone vibrated one last time. "Daniel, still recording." The screen went black. Outside, somewhere in the distance, a siren wailed. And for the first time since Daniel's death, Emma realized something far worse than being haunted. She might be exposed. Emma stood in the alley behind the diner just after noon. Daylight didn't make it safer. It made it worse. The narrow space smelled exactly like Daniel had said: oil, wet concrete, rot. A delivery truck had scraped the brick wall years ago, leaving a long scar of exposed metal. The dumpster sat in the same place, dented and rusted, like it hadn't moved since that night. Her pulse thundered in her ears. She tilted her head upward. There it was. The camera. Small, square, bolted above the fire escape across the alley, its lens dark and unreadable. No blinking red light now, just silence. It saw everything, she whispered. Her phone vibrated immediately. Daniel, it never stopped. Emma swallowed hard. Why didn't the police find it? Several seconds passed. Daniel, because you told them where not to look. Her legs nearly gave out. No, she said weakly. I wouldn't do that. Daniel, you were calm when they arrived. Her mind betrayed her again, another memory tearing through. Police lights painting the alley red and blue. Her arms crossed tightly around herself. Her voice steady, too steady. He left the diner angry. I heard the crash later. Emma pressed her palm against her mouth. I rehearsed it, she whispered. Her phone buzzed. Daniel, you practiced on the way home. Tears spilled freely now. Why didn't I get arrested? She asked. Why didn't anyone question me? A long pause. Then, Daniel, because the footage disappeared. Her stomach dropped. Disappeared how? Her phone vibrated. Daniel, someone deleted it. Emma's heart pounded violently. Who? 3 dots appeared. Paused. Appeared again. Daniel, not you. A chill ran through her. Before she could type another word, her phone rang. Not a message. A call. Unknown number. Her breath caught as she answered. Hello? Emma Carter, a man asked. Yes. This is Detective Harris, NYPD. Her heart stopped. We're reopening Daniel Moore's case. The alley felt suddenly too small. Why? She asked. There was a pause on the line. Because the footage came back. Emma felt the ground tilt beneath her feet. What footage? The alley camera, Harris said carefully. Someone uploaded it anonymously this morning. Her phone vibrated in her other hand. Daniel, I told you time was running out. Emma's voice shook. What does it show? Detective Harris hesitated. It shows you, he said. And it shows him falling. Emma closed her eyes. An accident, she whispered. Another pause. No, Harris said quietly. It shows hesitation. The word crushed her. Hesitation, she repeated. You didn't push him immediately, the detective continued. You held him long enough to pull him back. Emma's chest tightened painfully. And then, she asked. And then, Harris said, you let go. The call ended. Emma stared at her phone, shaking. You did this, she whispered. Her phone vibrated instantly. Daniel, you asked me to make sure you never forgot again. Her throat tightened. Why now? Several seconds passed. Then, Daniel, because someone else was there. Her blood turned to ice. What do you mean? Her phone buzzed. Daniel, you weren't alone in the alley. Emma's heart slammed violently. That's impossible. Daniel, look closer at the footage. Her phone vibrated again. Daniel, there's a shadow that doesn't belong to either of us. Emma's breath came in sharp gasps. Who? She whispered. The phone stayed silent. The wind moved through the alley. And somewhere above, the camera lens reflected light. Still watching. The interrogation room smelled like bleach and old coffee. Emma sat alone at the metal table, her hands folded so tightly together that her knuckles had turned white. Across from her, a single camera blinked red, recording every breath she took, every twitch of fear she failed to control. Detective Harris hadn't returned yet. That terrified her more than his questions. Her phone lay on the table between her wrists. They had let her keep it, an oversight or perhaps a test. The screen was dark, lifeless, as if whatever had been speaking to her had finally gone silent. Emma swallowed hard. "Daniel," she whispered. "Nothing." The door opened. Detective Harris stepped inside, followed by a woman Emma didn't recognize. She was tall, sharply dressed, her expression unreadable. "This is Dr. Lauren Wells," Harris said, "forensic psychologist." Emma's heart sank. Dr. Wells sat across from her. "Emma, we reviewed the footage, frame by frame." Emma nodded faintly. "We know you didn't plan to kill Daniel," Dr. Wells continued calmly, "but we also know you made a choice." Emma's lips trembled. "I was scared." Harris leaned forward. "Someone deleted the original footage 3 years ago, someone with access." Emma's breath caught. "I didn't have access." "We know," Harris said. Dr. Wells slid a tablet across the table. "Then who did?" Emma asked. "Your phone," Dr. Wells replied. Emma stared. "What?" "The footage was downloaded," Dr. Wells said, "edited and erased from your device." "That's impossible," Emma whispered. "My phone was in my bag." Harris exhaled slowly. "Emma, Daniel was alive for 6 minutes after the fall." The room spun. "What?" she choked. "He tried to call you," Harris said quietly. 3 times. Emma felt something inside her collapse completely. "I didn't hear it," she whispered. "I would have answered." Dr. Wells tapped the tablet. "You did," she said. The screen lit up. Audio played. Emma's own voice filled the room, cold, controlled. "I can't do this anymore." Silence. Then Daniel's voice, weak, terrified. "Emma, please." The audio cut. Emma screamed. No, this isn't real." Dr. Wells' voice was steady. "You recorded over the call." Emma sobbed uncontrollably. "Why can't I remember?" Dr. Wells leaned closer. "Because dissociation isn't the only thing you suffer from." Emma looked up, shaking. "What do you mean?" Harris spoke now. "Emma, the messages didn't come from Daniel." Emma's heart slammed violently. "Then who?" Harris's gaze hardened. "They came from you." Silence. "You scheduled them," Dr. Wells said gently. "Before the fall, as a contingency." Emma shook her head violently. "That's not possible." Dr. Wells turned the tablet toward her again. Calendar reminders. Delayed messages. Voice modulation software. "You programmed your phone," Dr. Wells continued, "to become his voice, to haunt you." Emma's breathing came in broken sobs. "Why?" she whispered. "Because you knew someday," Dr. Wells said, "you'd be ready to remember." The interrogation room felt like it was closing in. Emma stared at her phone. Slowly, painfully, she unlocked it. One final message sat unsent. "Scheduled for today, 11:59 p.m. She opened it. "If you're reading this, it means you finally told the truth." Her hands shook violently. Harris stood. "Emma Carter, you're under arrest for the manslaughter of Daniel Moore." The cuffs clicked around her wrists. As they let her out, her phone vibrated. One last time. A message delivered. "Daniel, I waited." Emma stopped walking. Tears streamed down her face as she whispered. "So did I." The screen went dark. Forever,